and welcome to this afternoon's Gallagher Premiership fixture. Bristol Bears versus London Irish. Kick-off just under half an hour away, and I'm pleased to say joining us here in the Bears TV studio is Bears back row Fitzharding. Welcome, it's your first time in here.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to chat about these teams and to really get into the details of what should be a great game.
It should be, shouldn't it? Let's hope so as we count down to that 30 minutes. I mean, it has been, I know you'd prefer to be out there with the guys, but you're still on your return to play. But it has been a fantastic start so far for the team.
Yeah, it's been great. I think, you know, looking back across the two performances so far, the biggest thing is we've got 10 points. And I think we had games last season where we'd underperform and not get the result, and I think we still haven't really hit our full heights yet. But to be able to get 5 points out of the first two games is a really good start for us. Yeah,
I think that's something that Pat has talked about quite a bit in the week. Though we haven't hit the full stride yet. There's still lots more to come. We talked about the season opener. It's always a great occasion. You were here for last season's one. Obviously, a slightly different occasion a couple of weeks ago with the passing of the Queen as well. It was a very poignant, sombre affair at the start.
Yeah, it was a really, really special day. I think, you know, Pat always encourages us as a team to be adaptable, and I think games like Bath, when you've had a pre-season where you build up for 6 weeks for one fixture and then it gets delayed by 24 hours, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does affect the mentality of some individuals, and I think we coped with that really well. I mean, it was never going to be a challenge to get up for a game like Bath. I mean, the support that we have in Bristol and the passion that the fans and the players and the club as a whole has for that fixture is something that's really special, I think.
And I know we'll be talking quite a bit about him more today, but it did mark the return, of course, of Ellis back here to Bristol. And it was very nice of him to bookend it with a try at the start and the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. I was sitting just behind the bench where a lot of the sort of non-playing players are sat, and it was mind-blowing. I think the impact that he's had since he's arrived has been really important to us as a club. I think not just on the field. Obviously, he's only played one game for us, but I think the impact that he's had in terms of leadership and in terms of you know, his vocal ability around the club is, you know, something that we all really value as players and staff as well.
Yeah. Well, we will talk more about him. You talk about vocality. We saw Jake Hainan there out on the pitch giving the final thoughts from the captain. Let's have a look through the team lineup, shall we? Of course, we will start. Look at that, basking in sunshine there, Ashton Gate. What a lovely place to be this afternoon. I'm sorry to keep you in the inside bowels of the stadium, but we can see all the action from there. And let's have a look through the team lineups. Of course, we'll start with London Irish. I mean, much has been spoken about that dangerous back three: Arundel, Hustle Collins and Will Joseph there.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm not sure we need to talk a massive amount about the threat that Arundel and Joseph have had. I think, you know, their involvement in the Tour of Australia in the summer really sort of signalled how much of a threat they're going to be in the coming years. But I think Hustle Collins as well is someone who perhaps doesn't get as much of the plaudits as he should, but he's really, really dangerous. I think he's deceptively powerful. He's very quick, and he's someone we definitely highlighted in the week as a real threat to us. Yeah,
well, the backs don't get the ball unless the forwards get it to them. Who should we be looking out for?
Well, I think set piece is going to be huge today, as it is every week. But I think in particular, obviously, Adam Coleman's out this week with an injury, but Api Roa.
I'm so glad you had to pronounce his name. I was just going to go for Api.
Yeah, the Saints lock is a really good player, and Rob Simmons as well. I think both of them, along with Rogerson, will try and command that aerial battle in the line out, and I think our second rows will have a real challenge to be able to compete with them.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at the Bears lineup, shall we? Let's go through that one. I mean, there are a few changes as well from last week. Obviously, noticeably that Ellis rested last week. He's back in alongside AJ McGinty, Rich Lane and Ed Holmes, all coming into that starting lineup.
Yeah, I think you know, it's another opportunity for us to display the amount of depth we have throughout the squad. Obviously, Ed coming into the team provides some real power in that area of the pitch. And obviously, it's brilliant for AJ as well to get an opportunity to start in the shirt. I think she's had a really, really positive start to the year. But you know, as Pat always says, I mean, lads are going to get opportunities, and for this week, it's a chance for AJ to show what an impact he can have on the side.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, you mentioned Sheedy there. It was a fantastic moment for him last week to reach over 1,000 points for the club, one of only 7 players to have done so. It was a great moment.
Oh, I think the whole squad was delighted for him. He's such a hard-working player. He's so professional, and I think the impact that he has in the club across the last sort of 5 or 6 years has been really, really important. He's a real leader. He drives the culture in the group, and his performances on the pitch, he always gives 100%. So
yeah, and his versatility. I mean, I know much was made of it, but he did have the full house of points last week.
Yeah, exactly.
We were talking there about various players coming in. Rich Lane obviously coming into the team for Jack Bates after suffering that head injury. Yeah,
that's another one. Rich is another guy who's obviously applied his trade in the Championship primarily for Bedford.
But he's stepped up so brilliant. I mean, last season
he's been brilliant. He's been brilliant. I think he's another player. He's super versatile, but he can cover both wings and full back, which is something that's really important to have. He's got a great boot on him, and he's got a great step. I think he had a great impact when he came on against Wasps last week, so hopefully we can see some more of that today. Yeah,
let's hope we can. And obviously these are the pictures of them in their final sort of pre-match warm-ups. Should probably mention return to the bench for Harry Thacker and Dan Thomas as well.
Yeah, Harry's probably my player of the year last year. I thought he was superb throughout the year. He's so deceptively powerful, quick, and when he's on the pitch, you almost feel like you've got a fourth back row. Because of his handling ability, so yeah, he'll be great.
Players Player. Well, I remember presenting you with Players Player of the. You were Players Player of the year last night, so it's very gracious of you to say yes. Well, we've had a quick look pitchside. Let's head down to pitchside now as we cross over to Downsy, who I think is with Harry Randall. Unless people can't lip read, which I definitely can't. Obviously, everyone will be very disappointed not to hear Downsy's dulcet tones, but we'll see if we can get back to him. But you will know what Harry Randall would be saying.
Yeah, I think, as a group, we've got a really clear game plan going into the game today. I think our kicking game is going to be really important. Mm-hmm. We've stressed all week about being able to control their back three, and I think the way we kick the ball, the way we compete for the ball, it's going to be a real key element of that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was so disappointing. Sam Jeffries last week and the injury. I mean, he's been such a phenomenal player for us and over the summer as well for England.
Last week I was sat at home again, unfortunately watching that game, and I was in disbelief. I thought it was one of the best performances I've seen in the Bears shirt for a very long time, and for him to be injured at sort of this time in his career when he's playing the level of rugby he is so heartbreaking. I think this week, obviously, it's been a tough week for him, but I think it's been tough for the whole squad to see what he's going through. He's such a lovely bloke, and he really deserves to get more international opportunities. And fingers crossed he'll come back from this, and he will.
Fingers crossed it's a speedy recovery. Right, let's see if we can cross back to Downsy. We'll give it a second go. Downsy, can you hear us?
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Welcome, Pitchside. Come this way, none other than superstar rugby player Harry Randall. Just a quick intro from you. What a day today is. First of all, I mean, the sun's shining in BS3. It's family day. What a day to be alive.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Perfect conditions for a bit of rugby. So, yeah, we're all looking forward to it. Prepared well through the week, and yeah, hopefully put on a good show for all the fans coming out.
Irish is always quite a tasty one. High scoring, controversial. What are we expecting today?
It is indeed, yeah. Previously we've had very high scoring games. I mean, we're hoping for a little bit less of that in terms of we're still high scoring, but them less so. So that's what we've prepared through the week. So hopefully that'll come into practice today.
And as far as the atmosphere at Ashton Gate is concerned, I mean, I've been wandering around here, thousands of kids, loads of families. It's such an exciting day today, and a great initiative from the club. Yeah,
exactly. You know, family day is brilliant. You know, you can feel the buzz around the stadium already. Just, you know, people on the outside coming in. So yeah, we're really looking forward to this one, and yeah, should be a great experience for all the fans there.
2 wins from 2, a fantastic start to the season. Harry Randall, how do we make it 3 from 3 today?
I think we've just got to put into place what we've practiced throughout the week, stick to our game plan, and you know, do the basics pretty well, and I think we'll come out the right side of the result.
Go well today.
Cheers.
Good stuff. Harry Randall, we are very excited down here. Lisa, back to you in the studio.
We're very excited in here as well. Let's hope we can make it 3 from 3. Dowsy, we'll let you get off. I know you're going to head up to the family area where we'll join you next. Well, Dowsy, he's been a busy boy this week. He headed down to the harbour side to have a chat and a coffee with Magnus Bradbury earlier in the week.
Well, welcome. I mean, you've swapped one of the most beautiful cities in the world for one of the most beautiful cities in the world, right? I mean, 8 years at Edinburgh is a long time.
Yeah.
Making that switch must have been quite a big decision, but...
It was, yeah. It's something I've always wanted to do, is try a different league, and the Premiership is probably unique in the way of how intense it is. So I always saw myself come down here at some point, and then had a couple of options, let's say, and Bristol was the best fit for me and my missus now as well, so it made sense to come down here. Like you said, it's a beautiful city, a lot going on, great club, great bunch of boys, we've got family nearby, got pals up the roads as well, so it all fell into place really easy for us, and it's the first couple of weeks, first month or two I've been here have been absolutely fantastic.
In terms of settling in, being the new boy at any club, I guess it's like, you know, being the new boy at school, isn't it? Have you been put through the ringer a bit by the boys?
Not really. I was expecting the worst, to be honest, but yeah, like you said, it is weird, because I've been at Edinburgh for so long, I've seen so many guys come and go, but down here came in a bit nervy first couple of days, getting to know the structure of the game and stuff like that, but the boys have been brilliant. Joyce has taken me for a couple of beers as well, and I feel like I've settled pretty quickly, and I mean, I hope they feel the same when they don't think I'm the new guy anymore, but it's been good so far, and I really enjoy it.
In terms of a club, you know, Bears has this culture that people talk about and that Pat talks about, and it's such an integral part of the community. You just had to wander around with Joyce now, you've already been recognised. Apparently
so, yeah. But that was part of the chat Pat gave me. I came down and met him before I signed, and he's obviously passionate about the club. You've got a lot of guys that have been here for a while that are extremely passionate about the club, and I like that. I like that it's not just a job to a lot of folk. It's coming in, but it's, like you said, it's part of the community. It's more than just winning and playing with this team. It's much bigger than that, if you understand what I'm talking about.
But winning is happening, is going on. Your first, you know, involvement in the club, the massive West Country derby, which is, you know, just ridiculous. I mean, how was that experience?
Oh, it was brilliant. It was intense, don't get me wrong, and it was good to be caught up in all that emotion. I mean, I'm new to it, obviously, but the way the week started and the conversations that were being had, it was like, this is a big deal to a lot of folk here, and the stadium reflected that with the amount of people we had. It was a great day for rugby, and I mean, we put our game out there and came away with the win in the end.
Absolutely. In terms of settling in at the club, you talked about, in terms of settling into Bristol, have you managed to see any of the sights yet?
Yeah, not so much touristy stuff. Seen a few pubs, a few restaurants. But no, I've really enjoyed it so far. Me and my girlfriend. She's been welcomed into the sort of the girlfriends group as well with open arms. She's made pals with them. So that was a big thing for me. Is it's not just my move anymore. I've got to take her into consideration, and that was a big part of it for me. But it seems to be going well. I mean, still plenty of time yet. I mean, it seems to all be going well so far.
You talk about being a big challenge, and there's going to be lots of big challenges as the season goes on. Do you think this is going to be the one for Bears?
Oh, don't get me wrong, that's what we're all aiming for, isn't it? I mean, we'll take care of the results and stuff, but that's what we're aiming for. That's why I came down here, ultimately, because it's a team that can win silverware, and that's something I want to add. I want to do in my career is win something major.
Well, it is 15 minutes to go to kick off Bristol Bears versus London Irish, and I'm pleased to say, joining us in studio, we have a very special guest, Bristol Bears owner Steve Lansdown.
Yeah, hello Lisa, nice to see your new home.
Well, it's your new home really, Steve, let's be honest, but yes, it is fantastic to be able to showcase it finally. Of course, we were meant to open with the opening Premiership season game, Bristol versus Bath, but of course with the passing of Her Majesty, plans took a different toll. But that game for you were here, it was such a poignant game, wasn't it, particularly probably for you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a tearjerker, wasn't it? I think all round. I mean, the sadness of the occasion, but able to pay our respects to Her Majesty, and yeah, passing of an era. You know, I mean, I was 17 not so long ago. She's been on the throne for 70 years. You know, I've never known anything different, and it was a pleasure to meet her when I was presented with the CBE, and yeah, it always be a very special time for me.
Yeah, it was, and it was a very special day. particularly in the end, the final few minutes, that last gasp drop goal didn't go over and Bristol saw the victory, and it was great to see you pitchside. I think we've seen you congratulating the players, Jake Keenan particularly. It was another special moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's what we're all about, isn't it, as the Bears? You know, exciting rugby, maybe not the best at times, but we fight all the way, and we got the victory, which is the key thing. And it was a great occasion. I think all our supporters obviously went home happy. We got the 5 points that we wanted. It was a great occasion for rugby and a fitting tribute.
Yeah. And it was, well, you talk about the crowds. I mean, it was another strong crowd here at Ashton Gate, and the same here today. We've done it as a family day rather than a Friday night game. You know, more than 20,000 expect, and I guess you must be pleased when you reflect on that, especially the difficulties across Premiership rugby at the moment with crowd numbers.
We've got to focus on reasons for people to come, not just the rugby. I mean, rugby is obviously the focal point, but you know, make it a special occasion. So, like today being the family day, you know, a lot of people coming along with the kids and you know, just the whole families, and making a real occasion of it. And they're learning about the Bears and becoming familiar with what we're doing, and we're able to sort of advertise our wares to them and hopefully create that bond for many years to come. And it's just a great initiative that everybody's behind here at the Bears.
Yeah, well, you talk about sort of making Ashton Gate Stadium this hub and this place to come, and building it around the sport. Of course, the football team are home here, and hopefully in the next few weeks we will get approved to the plannings to have the sporting quarter brought here, which means Bristol Flyers, the basketball team, will be able to call BS3 their home as well.
Well, we saw how exciting the Flyers are after last night's game, the first game.
1 point victory.
Yeah,
Every win counts.
Absolutely, but it was a great occasion, and they talk about the crowd there. You know, what do we get, 500, 600 in for those games? Well, if we can get 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people in to watch the Flyers here. I might have overstated that figure a little bit, but no, it's great that we're finally there with the hearing and the meeting. It's been delayed a few times, which has been annoying. But everything's in place, everything's ready to go, and you know, we just look forward to getting on with it, really.
Well, speaking of getting on with it, I'll let you get on with it, because there's only 15 minutes or so to go until kick-off. I know you want to take your seats. Great to have you here. Enjoy the game. Let's hope it's another win here at Ashton Gate. And well, we've been talking about Family Day. Let's hop up to our new family zone on the upper tier of the Lansdowne, where we can join Downsy.
Well, yes, welcome to the brand new family area here at the top of the Lansdowne stand. So much going on here. We've got games galore provided by the Bristol Bears Community Foundation. A little bit of rugby, knock the coconuts off the cones there. What's your name?
Harry.
Are you having a lovely time?
Yeah.
Who's going to win today?
Bristol.
Of course they are. It's just going on for miles and miles and miles. There's refreshments up here, a brand new family vibe. You can play our wonderful game. Let's go and get involved in higher lower. Come this way, Alec. Look, right at the front, what you have to do is, all right, I'm going to have a go. I'm going to have a go. Right, so we'll start here. Okay, so higher or lower than a 6. What's your name? What's your name?
Isaac.
Isaac, higher or lower than a 6?
Higher.
Higher. Right, let's come around this way. That's it. Right, higher or lower than 11?
Lower.
Lower than 11. It's 1. Yes, he's doing well so far. What's next?
Higher.
Higher. Yeah, semi-Randrandra. Okay, right, let's move on. Sorry for interrupting anyway. Come this way, of course. Not only can you play games and stuff, there's refreshments, fruit, vegetables, salads, lovely healthy things to eat as well. Loads of space to get involved here. And finally, just finally, as we get to the end, making Alec do all this running, my cameraman, look at this. You can do target practice and everything. Very good. Your chance to come and meet some of your favourite players as well. Get involved in some family games. It is brand new. It is the family area here at Ashton Gate. All you need to do, pop up to the top floor. It's level 4 in the Lansdowne stand, and we'd love to see you up here.
Downsy, thanks very much. You've been up there earlier, haven't you? It is chaos, but it's great fun.
Yeah, it's chaos. We're not, I mean, because I'm a player, I know my way to the change rooms, I know my way to the pitch, and that was about it. So, yeah, it was cool to go up there and see. It was really busy to see all the families up there. It was nice.
Well, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about driving those crowds to come here, and you know, it is making it all part of the day action. And this family day, there is a different crowd today. There's so many youngsters up there kicking balls about. Were you having to sign lots of signatures?
No, well, I tried to get my way through without doing too many, but no, I did. It was. It's always nice to sort of see how much it means to the fans and how much it means, this club means to the community as well, so it's quite special. Yeah,
well, it is a very special day out there in the sunshine. It's a beautiful afternoon for rugby. Talk us through what Pat's sort of directing there, these sort of the final 10 minutes of preparations.
Yeah, so the guys would have just come from their units, and now they'll come through. We'll do one set of D off line out. So this is what sort of the non-starters, so the subs and the travelling reserves will run a move that Irish usually run, and it gives us a chance to just sort of like track our movements and make sure we're all in the right places, so that when it comes to game time, we all know what we're doing.
And who's particularly vocal? Are they all, because obviously they're often leading in different groups?
So, I mean, it depends on which area. We've got a few defence captains who will sort of lead this area of the warm-up, and then we'll have line-out callers who will lead the units and things like that. So I think it kind of depends what part of the warm-up we're in. I think everyone in the squad will try and take some sort of responsibility for one area of the game, whether that's breakdown, set piece, attack, defence. So, yeah. Well,
there we see. I think they're now going towards their huddle, I think, as they get, or are they still doing some more set piece? I think.
So now they'll be going on to some phase D now.
Thomas.
Yeah. So throughout the week, the lads will try and run the same shapes that Irish do, and the same sort of idea to make sure that we're
prepared,
ready for what we're going to see on the match day.
Are there any little superstitions that creep in, like just before the final bit of you going in? Does someone say, "No, I have to touch the ball," or "I've got to do something"? Or
I think it'll always depend on the player. I've always tried not to have superstitions, just because if I then forget to do it, it sets me off, and I'll convince myself something's going to go wrong. But no, each player will have their own process. I think at the beginning of the warm-up is where most guys get their individual stuff in, so the kickers will do some kicking, the line-out jumpers will do some jumping, and everyone will sort of focus on what they need to get done before we'll kick off.
And, well, now we can see the huddle as our cameraman zooms in there. Who's doing, is that Jake? Yeah, Jake as captain today doing all the talking.
Yeah, so normally we have, Heens will give some key messages, and then we always like to have one or two lads who will sort of drive the energy, where a lot of the time that's Joycey or Jake Warmall's good for that, just to spark the boys up. But I think they're heading now into their jog around the pitch, where I always love this moment, because it just gives you an opportunity to soak in the atmosphere a bit, to connect with the lads around you, and to
hear the crowd as well. I mean, we can hear them from here in the studio. It's nearly 20,000 in there today.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think it's a really special moment when you're running back into that tunnel. You can see everyone filtering into their seats, and it really starts to almost relax you, because you've done all the work. At this point, all you've got to do is go out there and play. The work's done. So yeah, that's a nice moment of every match day.
Yeah, well, as we see the players, the Bears, just heading off the pitch there, of course it is time for us to say goodbye to all our viewers that are watching over on Facebook and our YouTube channels. This is where we say goodbye to you guys. If you want to watch all of the game action and continue with the action, just head over to PRTV Live and purchase your match day pass. So just go to premiershiprugby.com, follow the links for PRTV Live and purchase your match day pass. It's the Bristol Bears versus London Irish fixture with Bristol Bears TV. And you can join us for all of the game action. You'll get to hear this man's dulcet tones on commentary. We'll be heading up to the commentary